Would you like to light candles? We're on page 2. And Shabbat Shalom. You're welcome. Barb, stand on this side so that the camera picks you up somewhere. Page 2.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and lives. Bless all who enter the sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. That's great.
Do you want help?
Now we'll get it done.
Okay.
Let's see if I might see. Yeah.
That was almost painful.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher kedeshanu v'tzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Thank you. And we turn to page 9. And we join together at the bottom. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God.
Hine matovu manayim, shebachim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim, shebachim gam yachad. Hine matov, shebachim gam yachad. Hine matov, shebachim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim, shebachim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim, shebachim gam yachad. Maya hayom, Shabbat shalom. Maya hayom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom.
We're going to continue now on page 20 with Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi, Lechra Kala, Penei Shabbat, Lecha Bela. Lecha Dodi, Lechra Kala, Penei Shabbat, Lecha Bela. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi, Lechra Kala, Penei Shabbat, Lecha Bela. Echad Adonai Echad U'Shemo Echad L'Shemo Tiferet V'Nehila L'Echad L'Echad Libraka Pei Shabbat Kavila L'Echad Libraka Pei Shabbat Kavila L'Echad Shabbat L'Echad Milcha Ki Mikor V'Bracha Me'rosh Mikem Netzulcha Tzofar Sefer Shabbat Hila L'Echad L'Echad Libraka Pei Shabbat Kavila L'Echad Libraka Pei Shabbat Kavila Hitoreri Ki Mahorei Kumi Hori Uri Shir Meri Kavai Ra'alayik Nila L'Echadoni L'Braka Pei Shabbat Kavila L'Echadoni L'Braka Pei Shabbat Kavila Bohi B'Shalom Mater Bala Gam B'Simcha U'Tzola Tochen Me'yam Segula Boi Chala L'Echadoni L'Braka Pei Shabbat Kavila L'Echadoni L'Braka Pei Shabbat Kavila.
We're going to turn now to page 24 to Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamani, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boechem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamani, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barkuni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamani, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitichem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamani, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Page 25 at the bottom under the line. And we join together. And so we understand that ordinary people are messengers of the Most High. With me, please. They go about their tasks in holy anonymity, often even unknown to themselves. Yet if they had not been there, if they had not said what they said or did what they did, it would not be the way it is now. We would not be the way we are now. Never forget that you too yourself may be a messenger, perhaps even one whose errand extends over several lifetimes. A reading, this is a reading from a rabbinic section, and I'm sharing it with you today. 9. Whether or not an angel sits at the top of a tree, and or has wings, and or wears a robe, and or plays a harp, and or wears a halo, let us remember the word angel comes from the ancient Greek word for messenger, which is itself a precise translation of the Hebrew word malach, which means a divine messenger, an emissary of the holy, a bundle of God's energy that makes unscheduled and even sudden appearances in the world. For us, as Jews, those malachim, those messengers, have a particular way of showing up on Shabbat, and so we welcome them. For others in our world, this is also a night of watching and waiting. No, not for Santa Claus, and not for messengers, but for messengers and emissaries of God and holiness and hope. For those who are Christian friends out in the world beyond our sanctuary, let this be a night and a season of angels for them. For them, we thank you for your love and for your support always. We're going to continue on page 145. 145. Yitkadal v'yitkada shemei Rabbah v'amad yifrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon uv'yomecho uv'chayechol et Yisrael ba'agala uv'yismahan kariv Page 147 in the middle, and we join together. Adonai, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom. Day follows day in endless succession, and the years vanish, but your sovereignty endures. Though all things pass, let not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you and endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv Elohim.
Ahavat olam b'Yisrael, Torah u'mitzvot
addressed by the world. In each age we are challenged by our ancient teaching. At each moment we stand face to face with truth. In each age we add wisdom to that which has gone before. At each moment the knowing heart is filled with wonder. In each age the children of Torah become its builders and seek to set the world firm on a foundation of truth. Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. And we join together on page 150. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. Adonai Elohechem. Amen. Page 151, together. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all.
Yet that oneness eludes our grasp as imperfection and evil about.
Before our eyes there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness.
There is evil enough to break the heart, and there is good enough to exalt the soul.
When will redemption come?
When we grant everyone what we claim for ourselves.
Long ago we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High.
We learn that God's presence redeems time and event, so we celebrate this power that makes for freedom.
And we continue with Michalocha.
Mi kamocha b'helim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh. No ratehilo, no sefer, no ratehilo, no sefer. Malchut Yecha, Rabut Anecha, Bokei Hayam, Lifnei Moshe Miriam, Zeli Hanuvi Amenu, Adonai Yimloch, Adonai Yimloch, Le'olam Va'ed.
Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. And we continue with Hashkidah.
Ufros Aleinu, Tzunach Shlomecha. Ufros Aleinu, Tzunach Shlomecha.
Spread over all of us the Sukkah of Shalom.
Spread over all of us the Sukkah of Shalom. Ufros Aleinu, Sukkah Shlomecha. Ufros Aleinu, Sukkah Shlomecha. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et hashabat, la'asot et hashabat, lidorotam b'ri olam.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Latzot et HaShabbat Lidorum B'ri Olam Beini u'bein b'nei Yisrael Holi le'olam Holi le'olam Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Latzot et HaShabbat Lidorum B'ri Olam Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et hashabat la'asot et hashabat lidorum b'ri olam u'bayom hashvi Shabbat v'nefesh Shabbat v'nefesh Shabbat v'nefesh Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat Lidorum b'ri olam.
Nana, please rise. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Sfatai Tifta. Na 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 Ufi Agi Tehilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Sfatai Tifta. Na 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 Ufi Agi Tehilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Sfatai Tifta. Na 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 Ufi Agi Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzhak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Ha'kol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, U'mevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, L'man Shemo B'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezra Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atah Rav L'Hoshia, Mechalkel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechayei HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofeh Cholim, U'matir Asurim, U'mekayem Emunato L'Shenei Afar, Mikamocha B'Yevurot, U'midon Elach, Melech Me'id U'mechayeh, U'matzliach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh ha'akol, Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kdoshim kol yom yahalucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Have a seat. Page 159. You set aside the seventh day for your name, the pinnacle of creation, and you blessed it above all other days, more sacred than all festival times. And so it is written in your Torah together, the heaven and the earth were finished and all their array. On the seventh day God had completed the work that had been done, ceasing then on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, and ceased from all the creative work that God had chosen to do. Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot and grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Adonai, our God, grant as our heritage your holy Shabbat, that Israel, who sanctifies your name, may rest on it. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Together, may these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may we all live in such a way that this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Together, be gracious, Adonai our God, to your people Israel, and receive our prayers with love. O may our worship always be acceptable to you. Fill us with the knowledge that you are near to all who seek you in truth. Our God and God of our fathers and our mothers, be truly mindful of us and all your people Israel on this day. Renew in us love and compassion, goodness, life, and peace. This day remember us for well-being. Amen. This day bless us with your nearness.
Amen.
This day help us to a fuller life.
Amen.
On 163 at the top. For the good in us which calls us to a better life, we give thanks.
For the strength to improve the world with our hearts and our hands, we offer praise.
For the desire in us which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful.
For life and nature, harmony and beauty, for the hope of tomorrow, all praise is the source of being.
We continue with Sholom Rav on 164.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tesim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tesim Leolam. Ki hatahu melech haolam lechol hashalom. Ki hatahu melech haolam lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tesim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tesim Leolam. V'tov b'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tesim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tesim Leolam. Tesim Leolam. Tesim Leolam.
As we continue with our silent prayers, I just want to point out that the prayers that follow for the silent prayers are different, and so you might want to look through some of those prayers as we take some time to think and to connect with God. Oh, say shalom in your mouth. Oh, yeah, say shalom aleinu. Ve'al Yisrael. V'imru, amen. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Somewhere between 15 and 20 years ago, my kids were home. They were complaining. And I was trying to figure out what could we do, because the stores are closed and most of the restaurants are closed and they couldn't play with their friends. And I had no idea. All the stores were closed, like I said. All the decorations of Christmas were everywhere, and Rudolph was every turn you made. So I decided to call my cousin, who lived in Kansas City. I lived in St. Louis. And I said, how about if I bring my kids to your house in Kansas City? And she had kids as well, and she said, yeah, let's do that, because we had no idea what to do. And we drove out there. It was about 4.5 hours or so. And we had decided we would meet in a particular restaurant. And we walked into the restaurant. It was, of course, a Chinese restaurant. We walked into this restaurant and we got the last table, the very last table. And my kids sat down and looked around. The entire restaurant was filled with the Solomon Schechter kids from St. Louis. They were all from St. Louis, and none of them had tried to come with each other, right? So I have no idea how we figured it out, but we did. We were all there. It was a lot of fun, and we were with our cousins and all of that kind of stuff. So we had to decide what to do, where to go, what we could think of to keep the kids active. And they started playing finally. They didn't have to behave as well in the restaurant. And that takes us up a little bit. There is a woman named P.J. Broussard of the Forward, and this is a part of a story that she told. And it all comes together in a moment. And she told this story on December 25th, 2019, and here is what she said. Every year around this time, a certain handwritten sign goes viral on the Jewish Facebook. The Chinese Restaurant Association of the United States, this is in quotes, would like to extend our thanks to the Jewish people. We do not completely understand your dietary customs, but we are very proud and grateful that your God insists that you eat our food on Christmas. The holiday message is in all likelihood a fabrication, but the tradition behind it, it's not so much of a fabrication anymore. Michael and I had a classmate in rabbinic school, Joshua Cloud. He's now written a number of books, and he wrote a book that he calls A Kosher Christmas, 'Tis the Season to be Jewish. And this is some of what he was teaching us. I checked with other American Jewish historians, Rabbi Joshua Cloud said. We have found no evidence of this being authentic or not. It is urban folklore, we think. But it doesn't really matter because the message is funny and it just goes to show you that it's a real phenomenon. Cloud continued. While it's not prescribed in Jewish texts that we do anything on Christmas, let alone eat our weight in baby corn and water chestnuts, American Jews have a long history of breaking out the chopsticks late in December while the goyim are slicing into honey-glazed ham. Jews either do takeout, filling their wreathless homes with white cardboard containers and little bits of metal, with smiley-faced plastic bags, and possibly hitting the town for some pre-movie chow mein. Plaut said that the latter practice is known in Yiddish as oisessen, eating out, and it was coined in this very publication, meaning the Forward, in 1903, to describe the trend of Jews coming down from their tenement coops to enjoy the fine cooking of their Chinese neighbors on the Lower East Side. But the trend goes back even further than that, beginning at the tail end of the 19th century with an early wave of Eastern European immigrants. Plaut continues. The Jews and Chinese were the two largest non-Christian immigrant communities in America, according to author Jennifer Lee. She said, they didn't keep a Christian calendar, so their restaurants were open all day on Christmas. According to Plaut, the first documented instance of what we now know now as the Jewish Christmas in English dates back to 1935 in a New York Times article that mentioned a restaurant owner named Aim Shi Chop, who brought lo mein to the children's home in Newark, New Jersey. What Plaut said was a Christmas mitzvah. But as we know, Chinese food is an evergreen staple of many a Jewish home. Alongside the hamotzi, mushu is among the first non-Jewish words learned by American Jewish babies. I wish I could have said I wrote all this, this is wonderful. The forwards, the Forward, of the early 1920s and 30s didn't lack ad space for many popular Chinese-American restaurants year-round and even around the Jewish holidays. In quotes, we wish all Jews a very happy New Year, close quotes, reads a Rosh Hashanah note from Chin Lee, the owner of Chin's on Broadway at 44th Street. And this was in 1936. That same year, Plaut said, the East Side Chamber News reported the opening of 18 new Chinese tea gardens and chop suey restaurants within a few blocks of Ratner's, at the time that the most popular kosher dairy restaurant was in Manhattan. Part of the early appeal of Chinese restaurants lay in the fact that the eateries, unlike many Italian establishments, lacked Christian iconography in their decor. Chinese food itself was accepted because many Jews believed, or perhaps chose to believe, that egg rolls and their ilk were kosher. There are no Christian symbols on the walls, Cloud said. There's no mixing of meat and dairy, and the pork that is evident is clearly hidden. Hence the phrase, safe trife. You can't see it when you eat it, so it's okay. And the steamed pot sticker looks to be the equivalent of kreplach. Beyond seeming to keep kosher, there were other considerations for newly arrived Jewish immigrants. Lee noted that 3 or 4 generations back, Jews were self-conscious about their standing in America. But in Chinese restaurants, they found a non-judgmental crowd happy for their patronage. Chinese people didn't look down on Jews as being less than American in terms of Westernness, because Jews were a lot closer to being perceived that way than they were, Lee said. It was also very exotic and cosmopolitan, and it was a way to impress girls when you went on a date. And it tastes good. A Forward's advertisement from December 2nd, 1922 speaks to this. It says, in quotes, in large letters, "You must eat and dance with us where you will feel at home." Reads an ad from Tangerine Gardens on Flatbush Avenue at Fulton, just in case anyone was in New York. Another 1922 ad from the restaurant boasts of nightly entertainment from 5 to 9, a huge dance floor, and seating that banquet accommodations would actually not even fill that place, up to 600 people. While many of today's Chinese bistros are less extravagant, they still serve a festive function. Around Christmas, American Jews can feel alienated, and so the communal aspect of eating out proves essential to surviving the season. And of course, as we continue, this is Rabbi Cloud all the way through here. It's the only national holiday that American Jews feel a certain discomfort with because of the religious underpinnings, Cloud said. That's why people, rather than staying home and perhaps sulking or feeling idle, say it's a day off. Why not get together with family and friends? Cloud said that Jews' social calendars on Christmas are varied and have been for some time. Many tri-state area Jews in the 40s and 50s made an exodus to Grossinger's to hear Borscht Belt legends. Sorry, Mrs. Maisel. Midge wasn't on the bill. Contemporary Jews living in Boston may flock to a Klezmer concert. Some American Jews even made their way across the pond where Limmud, a worldwide network of Jewish study, holds Christmas time conferences for Jews. But for many American Jews who feel like staying local, Christmas means getting Chinese and maybe hitting up a Jewish deli on Christmas Day. Cloud believes that, strangely enough, the delis follow the lead of Chinese eateries in this situation. While the time-honored custom of wonton soup during Yuletide has its origins in New York, it is now a national habit for American Jewry. As Jews spread throughout the country, Lee noted, Chinese restaurateurs followed some of their best patrons out to the suburbs. And that's why we have them now. But don't just take the expert's word for it. The data actually proves that search results for Chinese cuisine spike at the end of December. So that means y'all have to go to the restaurant, right? Okay. The Chinese restaurant has become a place for us, for all of us, to announce our identity, and a place where identity expresses itself in a Jewish way on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And so it should be always.
Show of hands, who's getting Chinese?
Okay. We're going to continue now. I hope you enjoyed that, just for fun. We're going to start on page 253. And as we turn to page 253, we think of all those who are ill and in need of healing. If you have someone in your family, someone in your circle, and you would like a Mishabera, we encourage you to share that with us. Is there anybody who wants?
Yeah, my daughter Ava, my nephew and niece Ron and Arlen Rothschild. Maurice.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Lucy Karen or Liz? Lucy Karen. Lynn's Aunt Sadell and Lynn's sister Karen.
Is there anybody else?
Yeah, my niece Elaine Phillips is in a nursing home.
We're sorry to hear that as well. Is there anybody else? Page 253.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishehera imotenu mekor harahaotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Page 258. 258. In the middle of the page. Thus says Adonai, this is what I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness and untie the cords of lawlessness, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke, share your bread with the hungry and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, give clothing and do not ignore your kin. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light shall shine in the darkness. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen. And we join together on the next page. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. So as we're about to go into our final prayers, just a couple minor things. We do have Torah study tomorrow morning for those who want to. We are having services, of course, next week. It's going to be just like this in the sense that it's not going to be a fully laid out oneg or anything like that, but we'll gather together. And there will not be a service that next morning. Okay. There is a service this coming Thursday.
You mean class?
Class, I'm sorry. The Thursday class will be going on as well. Is there anything else that I missed? Okay. So turn to page 282, please, and rise. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'atein g'dula l'yotzer b'reshit, shelo asana v'goyei ha'aratzot, v'lo samanu ki mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol ha'monam, v'anachnu Page 287. V'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo Have a seat for a moment. We're moving on to the Kaddish prayer, and as we do so, you can choose to say a few words about a particular person who is very meaningful to you during this current year, during this time and seasons past. And so if anybody would like to share something about someone special to you, we invite you to do that at this time.
John Woods was a ski partner and ski club member, and we shared a number of great ski trips together. So we celebrated his birthday a lot. He, along with Edie, became good friends with my wife and I, and worked at Camp Caroline with them, and he was just a really good person.
Thank you. Is there anybody else? Please turn to page 294. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and of death. We remember these. William Wall, DDS, cousin of Lisa Stone. Ira Sholey's mother of Debbie Steele. Sandra Indes, sister of Arlene Behrman. Roz Zimmerman. Sylvia Falk, mother of Lori Marnham. Ruth Datz, mother of Rabbi Datz. Sophie Pollock, mother of Sharon Green. Sarah Myers, sister of Barbara Spiro. Natalie Yaffe, wife of Stuart Yaffe. Dr. Gilbert R. Cherrick, uncle of Alan Cherrick. Lawrence Berlin, father of Becky Trieger. Gloria Cohen, mother of Mary Beth Cohen. John Woods, husband of Edie Schultz, and Alan Beneshaw as well, Remy's father. We also remember those who died at this season in years past: Faye Alber, Eugene Bamberger, Ehud Bartow, Irving Bergson, Samuel Cohen, Marvin Datz, Sophie Ensel, Arnold Ensel, Bernice Ernstein, Sadie Mund Gardner, Everest Green, Irving Cartman, Lena J. Kellner, Albert Krisman, Elizabeth Liz Lipa, Elizabeth S. Morse, Emil B. Beecher, Max L. Reisman, Idel Rubnitz, Jenny Salzenstein, Elias Salzenstein, Boris Smekun, Harold Leon Wald, James Walden. Please rise as we all join together in the mourner's couch. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shmei Rabbah, v'yalmat yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayei chom v'yomei chom, v'chayei d'kol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'yamru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'mei homaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, v'yithalel, v'yithalal, shemei kudasha barechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amirim b'yoma v'yamru, amen. Yehei shlomo rabba min shemaya v'chayim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yamru, amen. Osei shalom b'mrama, uya'asei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yamru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, and let us all say, amen. Have a seat if you wish, and we continue on page about 321.
Steve, you know a different melody to this, right? Adon Olam Hashem Allah, B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra, Le'yeh Nasa B'chesed Kol, Kazai Melech Shemo Nivra, B'charei Kilo Ka'o, L'ra'yo Yevot Hora, V'hu
Shabbat Shalom, everybody, and we continue downstairs. Please join with us.